I feel like it's really looking at the child as an individual. I think sometimes, a lot of people are guilty of this, even people in education, right? We overgeneralize, right? What specific needs are specific to a certain classification. Even when I think of, students here at the school that may have, like, I work with students in the middle school program that have an eligibility of emotional disability, and everybody thinks, my students are mean. They think my students like yell and curse, and in reality, like, yeah, they may do some of those things, but that's not all who they are as a person, right? My students will, even tell, like, even the students that I worked with last year before COVID became really bad. I had a good relationship with my students, and my students would even say, like, can Miss Sinkule come, pick me up, and we could talk. Not even tell my students, like, yeah, I understand that you're swearing and you're frustrated. I think people take offense to the swearing because they think it's at them. But sometimes I tell people it's out of fear. It's out of pure frustration. I mean, sometimes when a student expresses themselves this way, and I think sometimes people have a hard time taking it personal, and then not seeing that child as an individual child that may need our support or may need the tools, to be successful. We need to work together to make every child successful. I feel that I think people, and even now, COVID's a lot. I think COVID has made educators feel a little bit more stressed, because they're expected to teach hybrid, expected to teach in person. So then we overlook, some of our students that, and we lump too, right? We generalize, all students, and then we forget, the needs of our individual students, right? So I really do think it comes down to creating that space, even in the classroom environment, where students are able to feel like they're a part of that environment, that they're welcome, and I think that opens the door, to meet and to know those students individually. I think if we don't provide, kind of like going back to secure attachment, right? If we don't provide them that secure environment, for that student to be successful, for them to feel safe, they're not going to be, it's going to be a lot harder to see that student as an individual, to see them with their own needs, in their own set of circumstances, and be specific to what they need. People are already scaffolding, they're already differentiating for individual student needs. I think there needs to be more of that. I think people forget that differentiation, for students doesn't necessarily always have to look different, but it can, because those are the accommodations or modifications specific to that individual student. It also means it also means that we don't stop there, right? We continually grow even our own professional development, right? To do a better job at, individualizing for students. I mean, special education individualizes all the time and they have high caseloads, right? For some of the teachers that do it, so it's not, I don't want to say that I think it's impossible, but I do think, maybe there needs to be more professional development on how to do that.